Hello, and welcome to episode 156 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, as well as a celebration of all things Nintendo. My name is Kevin, and joining me this week to talk about Virtual Boys, Alien Soldiers, Walmart ads is Harrison. How you doing, Harrison?
Oh, we got more than that. And speaking of
Mhm.
more than that, that's my transition. Does anyone actually
More?
like Bubsy? Did you see
I
that
think we've
news?
asked that on the show before. If not, it's just a common question. But yeah, do like actually, it's
I might have.
ha- what's that?
I might have asked it before, but um,
I've never played it, but hold on. There's a YouTube video I kind of want to plug here. Apparently there's a channel where somebody is like obsessed with Bubsy, and I saw somebody like kind of like pointing it out on their channel. Let me see if I can find this video because there it is. The story of Ulililia, the internet's strangest gamer. Look up that video. And apparently it's a guy who has like a million hours invested in Bubsy games.
we should maybe just link it because I have no idea how to spell that Hawaiian sounding name.
It's you
Ulilili.
yeah, I don't think it's a real name. I think it's like a username. It's ULILLILLIA. Um but yeah, they have apparently like 36,000 hours in Bubsy games. 36,000. I'm gonna send it to you right now. We'll put it in the I'm gonna put it in the doc and we'll put it in the description of the episode.
Cool, cool.
Check
Yeah,
that out.
yeah, yeah, because we're working on that. Cool. Okay, that's not so. That's actually not so bad. That's actually not so bad. I was trash talking a little bit, which is bad because I was also trash talking Bubsy a little bit too. But 36,000 hours. Uh, yeah, yeah. I was
He's
thinking.
he's got potential, I'll say that, as a character. You know, it's like it's that thing where they were always looking for mascot characters in the 90s, and he's got attitude, and you know, it's a cool design, but it just never pans out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, wow. It's quite a feat. 36,000. I'm kind of stuck on that still. Okay. Wow. Amazing.
No, yeah, it's like a mental obsession this guy has. That's why there's a video analyzing it because it's like it's really weird that this guy has that much time logged in it. You know, some people obsess over things. It happens.
We'll have to circle back and talk about gaming achievements sometimes. And hey, listeners, you can always leave comments down below of your thoughts because, like I showed you that video last week of the people that made an actual working Millennium Falcon in Minecraft. I told you about how
Yep.
um, the guy who made Minecraft inside of Minecraft, he recently made a chat model using vanilla Minecraft, which is amazing. Like you could open Minecraft and create Chat GPT. It's possible, kind of.
Yeesh.
Uh,
I thought it was crazy when they made the calculator and it just evolved from there.
that is crazy. That is
Hmm.
crazy. Yeah, it is. And just making your own like small little computers. But I think about like what are like some of the most extreme gaming feats that you heard either, and it could be like just spending over 4 years in a game. A year is like
Oh, here's a good one.
8,000.
So they talk about this one on No One Can Know About This podcast a lot because they're a Final Fantasy podcast. Um, but there was a guy who got to level 99 in the first area of Final Fantasy 7 just to prove it was possible. And it, you know, took thousands of hours. He live streamed a lot of it. And yeah, that is definitely a feat because the battles in that area give you like 50 experience points maybe. And when you're up in the 90s, they're looking for like hundreds of thousands of experience points to go up a level. These you're getting 50 at a time. It took forever. But like that is a crazy feat just to prove that it can be done. His name was
I
Circle Master.
I saw a video this week. Somebody reaching perfection in Stardew Valley without using any tools. He could use a
Oh
sword,
yeah.
but he was able in 6 years in game, 6 in-game years to reach 100% perfection with the new update. It's possible to not use any tools, no
Mhm.
mining, none of that. You can use bombs and weapons. That's all.
Here's a good segue. I saw somebody did Metal Gear Solid 3 with using not even no camouflage, using the naked camouflage. So you actually have negative camouflage points, so you actually stand out to the enemy. And he did that with no kills, no alerts, like a perfect run, basically glowing in a stealth game.
Mhm, mhm,
So that was kind of crazy. And speaking of Metal Gear
mhm.
Solid, year of the backlog. I finished another game this week. Again, they're not always going to come this quick. It's just like this month and next month, maybe. And then like it's going to die off because I'm like 90% through the next one right now. But I beat Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear, and the one for the MSX I had never played before. I got really into Metal Gear, I want to say when I loved it in 1998. It's actually what made me buy my PlayStation, 99, I think. And then I loved Metal Gear Solid 2, and I took a little break, Metal Gear Solid 3. I've always been really into the franchise, but my point is it wasn't like there was the availability of the information wasn't always there. So I always just assumed that the NES game that we got here in America for the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, called Metal Gear, was the first in the series. And apparently, it's a like bastardized version of the actual first game in the series. It was like made without the creators' input, and they changed a lot of things, and I always wondered why it never really seemed to have any connection to the later games, and that's why. So, the version I played now that's in the collection is the original MSX computer version, and oh my god, do I recommend this game. It's way better than what we got here in North America. It actually fits in the continuity of the story, and it's just I was amazed at how much of later Metal Gear games were in this thing, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I love playing older games and franchises is, like, it's almost like you finally see the missing piece, and you're like, "Oh, I see how they got from there to there," you know? Um, it's incredible. Have you ever played the original Metal Gear in any form?
The 1987 one? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Perhaps I
It's
did.
really cool how much of the series was there from the beginning, like, just things like, well, obviously stealth, and that was what set the series apart from the start is you're not supposed to kill all the enemies, you're supposed to sneak past them. Um, but things like, the cardboard box that you sneak around in that I mean, they even brought that into Smash Brothers. That's in the original game. Um, the the segment that's in, like, every Metal Gear game where you get captured and interrogated and you leave, that's in there. Um, just, like, so much of the fourth wall breaking humor where the most famous one being in Metal Gear Solid when they read your memory card. But in this game, they had lines about like, "Oh, check the instruction manual," or "Check the back of the box," stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I'm just amazed at how much of the series was there right from the get go. And spoiler for next week, Metal Gear 2, even more so. Like it's like it that game is like someone took Metal Gear Solid and was challenged to make an NES version of it. It's insane.
Man. Konami's first game came out in 1977.
What was
Crazy.
it on Atari?
Arcade, I guess. or
Oh,
ma-
okay, yeah,
or
that
may-
that
maybe it
too.
was Atari. I clicked that. I think it was arcade, but but
Gotcha.
but yeah, massive company. I mean,
Mhm.
just 1987 alone, or I think that was the same year as Double Dribble. I already clicked out of the tab I was looking at, but
Mhm. Kinda
more
crazy
research
that
on my
Metal Gear
part.
Solid hasn't had a remake outside of Twin Snakes because they just did that remake of 3. Um, but the original is the one everybody loves, and they did that Twin Snakes version for the GameCube, and it was an exclusive to the GameCube, so it didn't sell very well. You'd think they'd wanna do like a I don't know, maybe they signed the rights away to it when they made that GameCube game, who knows, but, they should do a remake of that first game, or it's not the first game, but the first one most people played.
There's no movie, is there?
Well, the thing is, Escape from New York is basically a Metal Gear movie because the story is so inspired by Escape from New York. So it would almost be an Escape from New York ripoff if they decided to make a movie.
Uh, who cares?
I mean, I agree. I've always thought there should be one.
Oh,
There
like
should definitely be a Metal Gear
what
movie.
what
Or
other what other
the way the
movies
winds are
are
blowing these days, a streaming TV show like a good 8 episode series.
or streaming? Sure, sure, or a series. Yeah, yes, because I mean, aren't there plenty of good shows or movies that are ripoffs of other shows or movies?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly the same. It's just kinda like my experience when I was playing this game. I remember the first time I ever watched Escape from New York. I was like, "Oh my god, I always heard it was inspired, but I'm like, this is the same thing." Um, so yeah, it's Hideo Kojima, I guess, must have loved that movie. Um, but again, it's different. You're not taking down a nuclear device in Escape from New York. You're rescuing a president, which is also an objective, but
I'm surprised that they don't do more with it. Sure,
yeah, I don't know what's going on. I
I don't
gotta
know.
look back in. I know they went in some weird directions. They had like Phantom Pain was like separated into 2 games, and I never really paid attention to why. I know I know they're in 2 different places in the timeline. So I gotta look more into that. I stopped at 4, just like Resident Evil. I stopped both franchises after playing 4, so I need to get back into both.
Tons of collections, right? Like there's a whole bunch of different Metal Gear collections that are
Yeah, the big one is the volume 1 collection, which they have said they are working on volume 2, so it's coming. Um, which has 6 games, I believe. It's a very good collection, definitely worth the money. You've got Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. You've got the original NES game. You've got the which is just called Metal Gear. You've got Snake's Revenge, which is another NES game that's not canon. It was only released in North America. Another one that was made without the Hideo Kojima supervising it. And then you've got the 2 official MSX games. So yeah, wait, is that 7? Yeah, it's 7 games.
huh, very cool, very cool. Well, I didn't finish anything this week. No, there were just there's tons of news. This was confusing Nintendo news week, which I guess is
Mhm.
normal. So it's like a normal Nintendo
Can't
week, which
predict
is not
Nintendo.
normal. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, oh, and there's a demo for Kwami 3 Dark Ties that's out now. For Switch 2 only, I would play it if I had one. But that looks pretty cool because I think the demo includes part of the expansion, but I might be wrong. But the remake looks really nice of Okinawa. Um, so very interested in checking that out. Um, yeah, yeah. What news item you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about the Virtual Boy games that are coming.
Sure.
I think I'm going to be recording my bonus episode this week where I review pretty much the whole Virtual Boy library. There are a few games that are just not worth mentioning, but I'm talking about total, like even the ones we didn't get here in North America. But anyway, this week they told us what games are going to be available when it launches, and there's actually a decent amount of games. It didn't just launch with like 3 games, like some of the channels have. They're going to be launching with Galactic Pinball, 3D Tetris, Telro Boxer, Virtual Boy Wario Land, I guess is the full title. The Mansion of Innsmouth, which is a horror game where it's like first person and you walk around like a haunted mansion. Golf and Red Alarm. So 7 games coming on day one. Uh, Red Alarm is the weakest of the Red Alarm and Golf. Golf definitely are the weakest of all those entries, I would say. There's another better shoot 'em up that they have said is coming later in the year. They said in 2026 at some point we will get Mario Clash, Mario Tennis, Jack Bros, Space Invaders, Virtual Bowling, Vertical Force, and V Tetris. And Vertical Force is the better game than Red Alarm.
Hey, I mean, I'm pumped to play the colorized version of Red Alarm. What is that gonna be like?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
what are the other colors beyond just red for this game, Red Alarm, that I've heard about? So, that was my only comment, so I can make it quick, because you're the Virtual Boy guy. Adding color later on in the year and drip feeding Virtual Boy content to me makes no damn sense, but keep
Well,
going. That's all
it
I'd say.
seems like within a year they're going to have everything up there because they said we're getting 14 games, and that's all. That's 14 right there by the end of 2026. So it seems like
And
all
that's
the
it.
games they said we're getting. What's
Like
that?
I understand drip feeding. I'm dying. I understand drip feeding content
Here.
if you have a plan for after,
Yeah.
but once all the games
No, with the
are
virtual boy,
out,
yeah, I
that's
get what you're
it.
saying. They seem to be all like, okay, here it is. Now don't ask us about it again. It's what it seems to be their attitude.
Yeah, I mean, why not just release everything just one time and be like, hey, for the Virtual Boy people, get it now, right? It's gonna be on the system forever, but get it now.
If if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess that they might be restocking those headsets each time and hoping that each time it catches more people's attention that didn't buy a headset the previous time.
Like, oh yeah,
Just a guess.
oh yeah, this is part of the system, but no, I'm not a fan of that at all, and I don't think it's going to change margins for Nintendo that much. Just release all the games, man. Like just put on the system, and if you wanna, I don't know, if you wanna market it later, do a re-release. Release the headset in blue. I don't know. Release it in
Yeah,
Yoshi
that would be cool.
green. Like I don't know, man. It but that was it.
Yeah, it is an odd choice for sure. Um, but what was I gonna say? Virtual Boy headset. I don't know. I lost it. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. You mentioned them changing the colors.
Mhm.
That's gonna be interesting to see how it affects the 3D effect because Nintendo has always maintained that the reason they went with red for everything is it worked with the 3D effect the best. So it's going to be interesting to see if playing it yellow or green really makes a difference at all. I don't think it will.
There's nothing that like yeah precedes this. Like even if they wanted to do another Labo or they wanted to eventually get into VR, which I have no idea what that looks like in their ecosystem. I don't see anything that really comes after this. I,
You
I'm
know,
gonna pause.
I think it's just a niche. I think it's a niche collector thing. It's like, hey, if you're really into Virtual Boy, we're going to acknowledge that it exists for the first time in forever because they pretty much ignored it until very recently. I think like it was like a huge deal when Luigi's Mansion 3 had the virtual Boo. Like I remember people being like, "Oh my god, Nintendo officially said Virtual Boy exists in some way." Um, but yeah, I think it's just an I don't think it's meant for mass appeal. I think it's just they're throwing a bone to people who otherwise would have to spend 300 bucks on a system on eBay that could possibly stop working someday. I mean, I bet these headsets are more reliable than the actual original 1995 Virtual Boys at this point.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and it's not a big announcement. So even if I think it's a little bit silly, then whatever. Again, Nintendo, especially this week, has just shown that they just do news however they want, just very random, their own way. So I don't think it affects it one way or the other. I'm looking at this pause menu now, though. It's pretty cool how they made the overlays and everything also black and red, with all of
Yeah.
that. That's pretty cool. But I also see that they put an image of the Virtual Boy controller on here, and there's no Virtual Boy controller that's included. That's messed up, Nintendo. That's messed up. They
I
should have.
really think that was a missed opportunity, but I don't work there. I'm sure they have their reasons. If they could make another dollar, they would have done it. So it's got to be something.
And it's a bad controller, but it's a collector's item more than anything since
Yeah.
it's the Virtual Boy. Like it's a game that you know might have killed people. I don't know.
I've
Um,
already seen people online modding real Virtual Boy controllers, to be compatible with their Switch. So, they're, um they're very pricey, so it's not gonna be something for the average person, but that's because it's an individually modded item, it's not mass produced.
oh, okay, all
So,
right.
Walmart, wanna talk about
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Sure. Let's talk about a possible leak that happened.
Yeah, this is just one of those things that comes up every now and then. It's possible leak, someone somewhere, usually a foreign store, but not this time. Usually it's like, oh, a retailer in Germany did this. But no, this time it was Walmart, a big, big deal name. Walmart uploaded an image for the Nintendo Classic service that included it was basically the image had a bunch of game covers in it, and among the games were Metroid Prime 2 and Pikmin 2 for GameCube, which are not on the service, as you know. Um, so people thought this was like, oh, they uploaded the image early and it's those games are coming. Here's the reality though, guys. Nintendo made a statement about this. They said there's no plan to upload those games at this time. They're not saying they're not coming. Uh and the last time this happened, we covered it on this show, was there was almost the exact same scenario. It was an image of the library, and in the image it was for Game Boy Advance, and it had Metroid Zero Mission, and Zero Mission wasn't on there yet. So everyone was like, "Oh, it's a leak. Zero Mission's coming." It took over a year for Zero Mission to come from that leak to when it showed up. So,
But it was
are
that.
these games coming?
Yeah.
Probably, but don't hold your breath.
It was accurate though, and
Yeah.
we've also covered other stories of third party ports that were leaked in a similar fashion. Red Dead Redemption was leaked as an image on the developer's website that had the Switch logo on it. So we had pretty much confirmed it. That came out a few days later. But I think it's legit. I think it's legit. The fact that Pikmin 2 is on there doesn't mean that I'm gonna use double negative. They wouldn't put Pikmin 1 on there first. It's just the fact that
Yeah.
Pikmin 2 was the one that was advertised. I found the advertisement to be very confusing, but again, Nintendo kind of confusing right now with their advertising because what it looks like to me is that it looked like someone had taken a screenshot of just the library and then put it in the background and made an advertisement over that. But that's very possible that that's the case. And it's very possible that what I was looking at was a screenshot of that still image. So it made it even more convoluted. But, anyways, I think it is 100% legit. I just don't know
Yeah.
why Nintendo, I don't know if somebody at the company just was irresponsible and sent it out.
Well, you know what I said in my predictions episode, when we predicted 2026. I think that is how we're gonna get Metroid Prime 2, is I don't think we're getting a remaster. I think it's gonna show up on the classic service, and then maybe sometime down the line, they might do what they did with Pikmin 1 and 2, where they just upload Prime 2 and Prime 3 onto the eShop, as basically Pikmin 1 and 2 on Switch. It's just a port of the Wii version of those games. They did not enhance them in any way. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen to Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I don't think they're remastering them. And I think before they start selling them, we'll get them on the classic service.
Yeah.
Not 3 because that's a Wii game, but 2.
We great additions. I mean, I think having yeah, especially like the original Pikmin on the service makes so much sense, and it'd be such
Yeah.
a great addition to that
I
service.
would love to play Pikmin with save states. That's like, I mean, I've beaten it enough times now, uh, the honorable way, where it would just be really fun to play around and see really like min max everything, try to see how few days can I finish that journey in? Like what could I maximize with some save states?
Yeah. I think it was somebody messed up. Like, that'll be my
Mhm.
prediction. We'll never know the answer because Nintendo will never tell us. But
No, and if they
Nintendo's
have that image anywhere, floating around, they probably were like, "Okay, make a new version now. We can't let people know that that was real."
yeah, because Nintendo does that all the time, and it's just what companies do, I'm sure, of where it's like, no, we have no plans on releasing those games anytime soon. It's like, okay, where did that image come from with that other multi-billion dollar company that you work for? What? What was that? What did you say? You know, it never gets addressed of how
Let me
of
see
like
if they mention that in the story. It's worth looking into, but I doubt they do. You're right. Nintendo responds, where is it? Nintendo comments on Walmart leak. It says their quote is, "We recently provided a retailer with an image of Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics titles that incorrectly, so they supplied it, that incorrectly included games that are not planned for release at this time. This image has been removed and we apologize for any confusion." So Nintendo gave it to them. There you go.
okay, so okay, why? I'm just it's just very
Someone at
confused.
Nintendo made the mistake, not Walmart.
Nintendo made a mistake.
Yeah, they sent the wrong file. You were
The,
supposed to send Nintendo Classics 002, not 003.
the wrong file. They just got random files of fake games on a fake service just hanging out on their computer just to throw people off the scent a little bit. That could be the case. That could be the case. That would actually be a little bit believable. Reverse psychology a little bit. I could believe it. Um, So yeah, I think it's legit, and I'll be watching that um very carefully. Let's circle back and because actually it's been such a crazy week that the Mario Galaxy the
Oh
direct
yeah.
was this past week, and so many things have happened. Another direct as well since then. That let's talk about that next. So yes, the Mario Galaxy, the next trailer came out, and we got our boy, our boy Yoshi. And uh, I'm very happy to see. I think a lot of people are happy to see that Yoshi is not going to be full dialogue, full English. He more or less sounds like Elmo, I think, kind of like that. So, very cute. What
Yeah,
else? We saw um, the Desert Kingdom, right? In this, I thought that looked really nice. They're gonna incorporate some other, parts of the Mario universe in
yeah, that was
there.
my biggest note was I wrote a lot of Mario Odyssey in this Mario Galaxy movie.
Right, right. So does that point to another game or something? But I like to see it. I mean, Mario Odyssey was a huge movie. I mean, a huge game, so of course they should use it
Mhm.
in the movie. Uh, the 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 firepower, the fire flower is so cool. Like the fact like how they kind of just use it as a tool, and it seems like so lifelike the way they use it in the video game. I mean, the way they use it in this movie, I keep messing this up. I can't help but think about how it could work in a video game as like a
Mhm.
next gen sort of Mario title. At this point, I'll take anything because I'm getting.
Mario meets Zelda where you're like exploring caves.
Yes, yes. At this point, I'll take anything, but uh, that it felt a lot more like Zelda, like you're. A lot more of an element that you're using than like, oh, I got the fire flower, bam! Like it's um yeah, and then I love that Luigi not only is he very very afraid, but did you see he's trying to throw fire at Buzzy Beetle, but Buzzy Beetle is immune to fire, so he's just
No,
really
I didn't see
afraid.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So Buzzy Beetle scares him, and he's just throwing the fire at him, and Buzzy Beetle is immune to fire, so he's just really afraid. He's just super scared, and just I thought that was a funny um, part to that.
I
Uh,
saw something online where somebody said a Ninja was in the trailer, but I didn't see it anywhere. Ninjas are like those things from Super Mario Brothers 2, they're black with like white eyes. I didn't see one anywhere.
I,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah, I think so.
A
I think so.
Ninja.
I've played it a lot. Um, it was a short trailer. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think it looks like more of the same. It looks it didn't it didn't fill me with a feeling like this is going to elevate the franchise. I think I said that last time we got news on this. Um, it just looks like it's going to be like I had a lot of fun with the last movie, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one. It doesn't look like it's throwing us any curveballs. It looks like it's pretty much exactly what I expected from a follow up. So that's both a good thing and a bad thing at this point because we're so flooded with movies that are banking on nostalgia from our childhood that we're almost immune to it at this point. So it's one of those things where it's gonna probably go in one ear and out the other, but while it's doing that, I'm gonna have a good time.
We're all gonna give it a shot. I'm sure that we're all gonna see it in the theater. The three of us. I It's elimination, and the amount of depth is what I'll be concerned about. But if anything, it will be fun. So I think, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot and say it has a chance to be better than the first one. And even if there's a lack of depth, it'll still be a fun movie to go out and see. And that's really it. Just where is the other 3D Mario game? I'm gonna keep bringing it up, but that's all I can think about. it's really all I can think about when it comes to, like,
Mm.
this movie, this franchise. I'm just like, "What's going on if this movie's coming out so soon?"
Well, it's almost it's funny because we went through the same thing when we were waiting for any news on Tears of the Kingdom, which was called Breath of the Wild 2 at the time, and, it was like every single direct would be like, is that is the because we knew they were working on it, and that's all we knew about, and so every direct would be like, "Is this when we get the news? Is this when we get the news?" And it was like every single time, it didn't happen until it did. Uh, so it's the same thing with 3D Mario right now. That's the top of the line, most anticipated announcement I think from Nintendo is when are we get, especially because we got Bonanza for a system launch game.
Mm,
Um, I'm counting it as a launch game. I know it was a month later. Uh, it's it's just everybody wants it right now because you kind of teased them with that. Like Donkey Kong is so almost Mario, and you did it with the people that did Mario Odyssey. So it's just like you know what you're doing, Nintendo.
yeah. Yeah, and there's been nothing because you mentioned Breath of the Wild. We knew a sequel was coming. We didn't really we
That's
didn't
true.
we didn't have leaks. We didn't have, like, that much that many details before the game was actually announced, but this is Mario. It's an even bigger franchise. There's a
Mhm.
new system, there's a movie, and there's been no indicator at all that there is a new game beyond just us knowing that, of course, there's going to be a 3D Mario game at some point. But for all we know, we could get a completely new generation 3D Mario game, or what I'm expecting is Odyssey 2 with Galaxy elements to it, which is fine. Which is that's
It's
great.
really
Cool with me.
it's really taking me back to the days of the Wii U because back in the Wii U, man, they that was a Nintendo system that also launched with no Mario game. And people for the whole cycle of the Wii U were like, "When are we getting it? When are we getting it?" And we never did. We got 3D World, but it wasn't what people were looking for. Oh, and you got New Super Mario Brothers, but other than those, we never got like a full 3D. That's why Odyssey was such a huge deal when it came out, is because we were like, finally. So hopefully they don't take that long again and skip a whole system.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at least if the new one is good. I mean, Odyssey did kind of set a really good bar as far as what a 3D Mario game should be, moving forward. I gotta move on because I'm just gonna keep going over the same point that I've talked about it probably I don't know how many times in the last few episodes about it. But yeah, where is it? Just very suspicious about it. Uh, I guess I mean I have other news, but should we talk? No, let's do other news before we talk about predictions. Let's talk about the other direct since I don't have that much to say about it. I just left notes for us, some just
Uh,
like
yeah,
takeaways
fill
on
me
it.
in because I didn't watch this one. I don't have a lot of interest in Tamagotchi life,
You
so
you you gotta watch it. It was hilarious. Watch it later,
okay.
okay?
So I was working. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It's on YouTube, so you can watch it anytime you want. I'm just kidding. Let's
Okay.
move on. So talking about your life, I did not play the first one back in 2013. This one comes out April 16th, 2026. Switch and Switch 2. There is no Switch 2 version announced yet, which is the first takeaway I'll give you. I think that's really confusing. I'm assuming that there is a Switch 2 version, but there's no announcement of it, and there's no demo of it, at least yet. I don't understand a lot of the me or Tamagotchi humor, but I think it's pretty funny, pretty cute, pretty. humorous. The town building elements. It is an island. You know, same with Animal Crossing. If it's up to me, you would choose your own terrain or make it random. Randomize it. But it's an island. That's fine. The development of it seems cool. The shops seem really nice. The customization, all of that. So that all looks good. The trailer, um, it was very, very nice, or the whole direct in itself, because it played out kind of as like this like mini series where they were introducing different Mii's, and then there was like this whole like love triangle element to it, almost like it was like a reality TV show. I thought it was really cool actually. Like I was thinking like if Nintendo ever wanted to do like a miniature YouTube series on Mii's, I'd probably watch it because it would be I would get invested in the different um characters in it. So that was really, really funny. I couldn't think of like another direct that has done it in that sort of way. Of course, the a big part of it that was being talked about was the dating options and the gender options. Of course, they have male, female, non-binary, and then same thing. You can pick any dating preference that you want for all of these characters. Um, that is more inclusivity than anything, in my opinion. Like Nintendo's going, "Oh yeah, like why not just add it to the game because those people, not to say those people, but everyone plays games is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say." And then of course, 2 hours later, I see videos coming out saying the reaction to this direct is crazy, man. And it was more just, people on Twitter that have never played the original game and never will
We need
reacting
to
to it.
reset the internet.
Yeah. But one, it's inclusivity, but also it's Nintendo being smart enough to know, hey, if we show that in our direct, people are gonna talk about it for like
Yeah.
a while, but it's not gonna cause controversy for us, but then more people will just go out and buy the game. Right? Or that's what I think. I think they are smart enough to know that. Like even though they're Japanese and this is more American audiences that are getting upset about it, but yes, I totally agree. Anyways, I like the shops. I like the island customization. I got my eye on it to see if they're gonna add any day one DLC, if like the whole game's gonna be available, what the price is going to be. Definitely a game that I am looking towards because um usually I'd want to play as like one player and explore a world like that, but I might enjoy um kind of this sort of subgenre where you're adding different characters and watching how they interact. So that's it. That's it. So I'll leave it there. Watch it and let me know. I thought it was pretty funny. Um, what other news talked about? Leaks, anything else? February Direct, Virtual Boy, Yoshi. Yes. Okay, so we had a possible leak of a direct coming from Nate the
Oh,
Hate.
Nate the Hate. Yeah.
So
Which I have an update on that. I don't know if you saw.
go ahead.
The update is that it's apparently going to be a partner
Right.
direct. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I fully believe that it's happening because Nate the Hate's got a very, very accurate track record. So yeah, I think next week we're getting a partner direct. Um, I
Yeah.
don't have a whole lot of predictions though. Do you?
We should make some. And I put a list
Yeah,
down
my
for us.
prediction,
Go ahead.
my biggest, the one that I'm most confident in, especially with it being a partner direct, so it's not Nintendo stuff. I think we're getting an announcement of that Rayman collection that's coming soon. I don't know if
Mhm.
people remember this, but like a week or two ago, there was a news story that a Rayman collection had been raided in Australia. and there's no announcement for a Rayman collection yet. So I know some countries have to have it rated so far ahead of the release date, and things like that. So like that's why you sometimes hear it leaking from like Germany or Australia or random places. Uh yeah, I fully believe that that Rayman collection is coming, and I think a partner direct would be a great place to announce it. So that's my prediction. Rayman collection, um, especially since they just uploaded Rayman 2 to the classic service, like kind of raising awareness of it. Um, I don't know what's going to be in the collection. I hope it's more of the games that are like a little less available, like the Game Boy Advance games. And they had like so many like little handheld Rayman games. I hope those don't get ignored.
I like it. Okay, we'll add it. We'll add it because we're gonna make a bingo card, assuming this happens, because Nate the Hate said it's not confirmed, but it's highly speculated, and then came with an update saying that it's going to be a partner direct February 5th, depending on what region you're living in, and from what I saw yesterday, it's corroborated by Game Explain, Switch Force, Attack the Backlog. These are all sources that are saying that this is a legit um, rumor coming out. So, yeah, I like that. Partner Direct, heavy third party presence, ports, upgrades for Switch 2. Most likely not a where you're gonna see like a big first party title. What's up?
Oh, you know what else is probably gonna be in there? They've been putting this in the news a lot lately is the, have you seen that Disney Afternoon collection? It's all collections. The Disney Afternoon collection, they announced that it's coming to Switch 2 soon, and it's, actually has 2 additional games if you get the Switch version. So that might be in a partner direct.
We'll put it in. We'll put it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone's curious,
Um,
I got the games right here. So the Disney Afternoon Collection is Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Chippendale Rescue Rangers 2, DuckTales, DuckTales 2, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, and added for Nintendo Switch, we have Bonkers and Goof Troop. All those games.
we have seen Disney games in, I guess, partner directs in directs. So yeah, okay, okay, good prediction. Okay, you know you said that you didn't have any predictions, and you just named two really good ones. Um,
It's funny because I got a third one now off the top of my head, but this is really the last one I got. This is gonna be my long shot. But for a long time, they've been rumoring that they're gonna announce in 2026 a remake of Resident Evil Code Veronica. So that's my long shot prediction. Resident Evil Code Veronica remake announcement.
it's on the list. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have any, uh, I put possible predictions in our notes. It's in the blue category. So what am I gonna predict first then? Um, how about how about we get a little bit of Pokemon Pocopia in this one? I said there's gonna be no first party releases, but we already know about this game, and Pocopia comes out in May or April. I think it's May. So how about we save that? How about we say that? And I
Mhm.
think and oh, I think Pokemon Day is the end of February, so we might get a presentation on Pokemon just separately, and we have to assume Generation 10 comes out this year, with anniversary and everything else that surrounds the Pokemon games coming out. But I think that will be a separate presentation in itself. That's a separate prediction. Um, I'd like to see From Software in this one, whether it's them showing off Dust Bloods, but I think that's going to be a bigger presentation in itself because that's a huge, huge game coming, like one of the biggest of
Good call.
2026. Um, but I wonder also if From Software is going to be releasing any of the Elder Scrolls, any of the other games that they could possibly port over to a Switch or Switch 2 system. So I'll make a From Software prediction that they will be present um, in this direct. Do we get any DLC? Do we get any updates for Switch 2? Do we get any Zelda? Um, third
I don't think so.
party? Listeners, this is for you too. You can leave your comments. Um, Metaphor, Refantasio,
What?
Final Fantasy 16. I don't know.
I don't believe that the Switch 2 is capable of Final Fantasy 16. I saw that news story too, but it's a PlayStation 5, like, I don't know. They'd have to do a little bit of a scale back for it. Because even when they did Final Fantasy 15 on the Switch, they made like a version specifically, they called it like Pocket version or something. And it was like specifically for the Switch because the Switch couldn't handle 15. And 16 is a way more like advanced game than 15 was. So I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
I put scale release in the notes, so that's probably the case. Expedition 33, I wonder if they have a dev kit because that could definitely go on a Switch 2, and that would be huge. I mean they broke records as far as how many awards they won. Metaphor, I think, is a similar thing. I think it would come to Switch 2 eventually. So we might see some big third party announcements along with we had some big third party announcements with the initial announcement of the system that haven't come out yet. So that's all possible. Um Pikmin 4, Switch 2 update, Nintendo Switch Sports, Switch 2 update. Just like I was thinking or looking at speculations of what updates we could see on a Switch 2 console. So maybe see some
I still
updates.
haven't touched the last Pikmin 4 Switch 2 update. Should get on that. Did that
Uh,
release yet? I think it did.
there's one particular one that's being thrown around that I'm gonna avoid until I make sure there's nothing else. I think that's it. Yeah, I think we're gonna see. We'll do something more specific for our bingo card, but I think we're gonna see some updates, some Switch 2 updates, some big third party releases, and maybe some look at first party releases like Pocopia that have already been announced, but no big announcements. So we'll make everything more specific. Now, been seeing a lot of people throw around Ocarina of Time recently, and I think that would be too big for a partner direct.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
That would almost be its own direct. Like, it'll get like a reveal and then it'll get its own separate direct for sure.
if it's
Just
ever a
like
one more
the
thing, it's going to be crazy. If in
yeah.
any presentation, Ocarina of Time remake or whatever the hell it's going to be is a one more thing, that's going to be
I'm
crazy.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, I could totally see they do a one more thing and you see like the master sword in the whatever you call it, the area where you stick it in the temple time. And like I could totally see my brain working and going like, "Oh, new Zelda content, new Zelda," and like the slow realization as the video plays of it being Ocarina of Time remake will be amazing.
Right. I I don't know if people are getting bored. I don't know why. It might just be like people like me that think, oh, like why it's Ocarina of Time. It would literally sell systems. You'd have to do a Majora's Mask to follow it up. If you do an Ocarina of Time, you have to do both, of course.
If
Uh,
you read comment sections, I'm like confident there are people who haven't even played video games since like 1999. You know what I mean? That will still end up in comment sections for Ocarina of Time videos and stuff if you ever see him in your feed and talking about the greatest game ever made, the greatest game ever made. And I'm like, there's so many of them out there that would totally buy a system for a remake.
Sure, sure. And that's totally fine. There are, I mean, I've called myself a fake Nintendo fan on here before because, I just like, it's like Breath of the Wild and Animal Crossing for me, a little bit of Pokemon. But but sure, I mean, if that's what you like this, I think some people are more like they're not maybe Nintendo fans, but they are Ocarina of Time fans, or oh,
Yeah.
I remember playing that game when I was a kid all the time. Yeah. Hey, oh, I'm
Yeah,
looking
you had
for
a
a new.
similar reaction when they re-released GoldenEye and put it on the service. Like it people, like I said, who haven't played video games since then coming back to like relive their college days and stuff like that.
Mhm, mhm. Or elementary school, depending on how old you are.
Yeah. Well, I think if people stopped playing video games, I picture like someone who was college age when like GoldenEye came out and they played with their, they played in their dorm room or whatever, and then they got a real adult job and kind of like it fell by the wayside, and then they came back to it. This is the fictional demographic in my mind that I've completely made up.
When it comes to like what Nintendo could realistically do, this would be one of the biggest ones I could think of. Beyond
Yeah.
like we've talked about like what if they made a one more thing, an actual Mario Zelda title, like an actual Mario Zelda game finally. Um like, I think that could be, like, the biggest one that we could ever see, but Ocarina of Time would have everyone talking about it immediately.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know if it's just people getting bored or just thinking, "Where is it?" I that would for sure be in an actual Nintendo Direct, and I think they wouldn't announce it. I don't know. Nintendo's weird because, like, what else happened this week? So they
Oh,
announced,
just I wanted to say
yeah,
real quick, just like every time the enormity of Ocarina of Time comes up, and since we mentioned both of these franchises already on here, I just wanted to say, like, it is so insane that 3 of the biggest juggernauts in gaming conversation for, like, greatest game of all time, um, all came out, like, within a year of each other. You got Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, and Ocarina of Time all within a year. Like, that's insane.
mhm. Well, there's many such cases in
Mm.
media that just like
From
pop out.
January '97 to January, or no, it's a little more than a year then, I guess, but still a
It's
year
yeah,
year and a
yeah.
half span, crazy.
It's right around a year. There is yeah, there's a few that pop out to me. But now I just lost it. Oh, you're doing some like music stuff this year where you're listening to music. 1959 with jazz is one of the biggest years of all time. Some of the biggest albums in jazz history came out in one year. 1969 with rock and roll
Mhm.
music. Some of the biggest albums come out in 1969, same year as Woodstock. Jim Carrey,
Oh, yeah.
1994?
Yep, untouchable.
94, right? 94 is
Yeah, I believe yeah.
Dumb and
The
Dumber,
Mask, Ace Ventura,
Jason Ventura.
and Dumb and Dumber, yep.
Yeah, all within that same year. And
Or not The Mask, uh, Ace
which
Ventura,
one?
Dumb and Dumber, and
Cable Guy? No,
no, no, yeah, The Mask, it was The Mask.
it was
I'm
Mask.
second
Cable
guessing
Guy was
myself,
after.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
right. That's right. And yeah, it's like think about that. He's a huge actor that had a huge career afterwards, but his like three biggest movies come out in a 12-month span. So yeah, I don't know if
And they're
we.
making Ace Ventura 3, I read recently, so that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
Remember.
though Jim Carrey has talked multiple times about not liking doing sequels, and even after he did that Dumb and Dumber sequel, he did interviews where he said it's, it's too hard to do them because you're just doing an impression of yourself and all that. They offered, and I also feel like Jim Carrey announced his retirement like twice at this point. But anyway, it's coming.
Yeah, I don't understand why people announce their retirement from things that aren't
Hmm.
like you could just like not make movies anymore. Or it's like when people retire from like making music, it's like you could just not make another album. Like
Yeah.
just see you later. You can do a goodbye project if you want, but like, um, but yeah, well, hey, everybody's got a price when it comes to like making things. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
I messaged Sean recently because I never realized that Eric Roberts is Julia Roberts' brother. I never realized
Oh
that.
yeah.
And that's crazy because I messaged Sean saying, Julia Roberts got $20 million for Aaron Brockovich, and Eric Roberts probably makes like $5,000 in a turkey sandwich because he makes like 100 movies a year. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. No, I've met him a few times. I mean, this is a rant for another time, but I have a friend who produces movies, and Eric Roberts was in a few of them, so I've met him a few times.
Does he have good? I've only heard bad stories about him. Is he
Hey, I'm not going to trash him on a pod.
okay?
It's it's he was. I mean, I never had any problems with him. I'll tell you that. He was a nice guy when I was around. I don't know about any of the other stories.
It's fascinating to hear how many people have actually worked with this guy because
Yeah.
I have talked to at this point multiple people who have either worked with him or like know someone that has worked with him. Um,
Mhm.
and it sounds like there's some movies where he shows up on set, which I imagine like if you make 100 movies a year, I imagine there's some of those that's the case. But yeah, I never knew that until like a few days ago. I never made that connection. So, so two very successful people in Hollywood in their own way, much more successful than me. So that's all. Let's wait. Are we doing the spotlight without Sean?
No, we could save it for him. I
Cool.
always feel bad when I see that he has notes, so I'd like
Let's
to
save it,
save them.
and we did about an
Yeah.
hour, and we had a big news week. What I was gonna say to finish us off then is that we had an Animal Crossing trailer come out. I guess it was 2 days ago at this point. So that's really confusing. Like they released the 3.0 update a day early, similar to how they released the 2.0 update a day early, but then they released the trailer like 2 weeks after it comes out, a day after they do a direct for a whole different game. So I don't understand the the release schedule of all of these trailers at all. It's been a very confusing week. Um, so yeah, was there anything else for the week?
No, that's pretty much it. Uh, Side Panel Network, check it out. You got anything new going on with that?
Cool. Got episode Harrison Talks Pod coming out the same day this will come out. It's just how I have to do it. And with NBA news, I can't release them late. I gotta put them out as soon as they're ready. So there's that. Pretty much daily uploads on my gaming channel. And how about with you?
We
Anything
had a
there?
new Ninja Turtle Nerds last week where we talked about The Last Ronin, and we're going to be tackling Volume 4, I think, next month. We're going to cover Volume 4. Sean and I have been talking about how to do it. I think we're going to do it 4 issues at a time. So you're still basically getting the same amount of content as when we used to be a weekly show doing 1 issue at a time. Now we're a monthly show doing 4 issues at a time. So you're getting the same amount of issues covered. Um, and what else? I'm working on a bonus episode about the Virtual Boy that should be ready soon. And that's about it.
Yeah, we
So
all, we
yeah,
all have Yeah, I mean, Sean has a bonus episode eventually. I think, and then I'll have a bonus episode maybe ready next week. Maybe come out the week after that. So we got a lot of extra content for everybody. If you're not following on YouTube, make sure to follow on there because the extra ones come out on there sometimes. It's
And my solo podcast is coming out at some point. I recorded an episode with Sean. I'm just still trying to really nail down the format, and kind of get a few episodes banked. But within a month, I think that thing's going to go up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, very cool. That is all from me. So how about you sign us off then?
Yeah, thank everybody for listening. Thank you very much, everyone who has liked and subscribed. Recommend us to anyone else out there who you think likes Nintendo and would enjoy this content. And we will see you next time for some more Nintendo therapy, where we will actually get to our spotlight probably and talk about Alien Soldier, not Alien Storm, which is what I confused it with last time.
See you then.